Welcome to BreakingDownTheWalls.net. We thank you for tuning in.
Welcome back to Breaking Down the Walls. You know how I say it and you know how I do it. It's another exciting segment of Breaking Down the Walls. But guess what? We have a twist today. Breaking Down the Walls is enlarging their territory. We are actually having a political segment today along with a relationship topic. Yes, I said it, a political segment along with a relationship topic. We have an awesome guest today. We have Mr. Shawn James, who is running for the State House of Representatives in District 75, and you don't want to miss this. Now, if this is your first time viewing Breaking Down the Walls, Breaking Down the Walls generally has relationship discussions, relationship topics. Controversial usually in nature, but we always end the show with a solution. But today we're going to discuss relationships and the political process, and we're going to do what? Break that down. So you come right back because you don't want to miss this exciting segment of Breaking Down the Walls.
Breaking Down the Walls, brought to you by Medallion Studios Digital Video Services.
Well, first, before we bring up our guests, we want to give you a little history about what Breaking Down the Walls is all about, who we are, and basically what we're doing here. We started having forums in the home. We started having forums in the house. We would bring men and women, not necessarily together, from different backgrounds, different occupations, different religions, whatever, to come together and let's have a conversation about what's going on in the African American community. So breaking down the walls is about being mindful of the mouth, because if God speaks about it in the Bible that this little thing can set the world on fire, what do you think it's going to do in our little measly relationship? Welcome back, everyone, to Breaking Down the Walls. And as I said before, we are having a political segment along with a discussion segment. And I have here my awesome guest, Mr. Shawn James. Shawn, welcome to Breaking Down the Walls.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes. We're honored to have you here. And before we get into my topic of discussion, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Single father of a 10-year-old daughter. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, also raised down in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
All right.
Moved here in Atlanta, Georgia in 1997 and made Atlanta my home since then.
Okay. Well, definitely nice to have you.
Thank you.
So we'll just get right into it. Single father of a 10-year-old.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because in previous shows that we've had, single fathers actually, are you raising your daughter?
Part-time.
Part-time? So single fathers are actually becoming sort of almost like the norm nowadays, and people don't realize how single fathers are actually creeping up on single mothers.
Yes.
So my question to you is, how different is it for you now when you have your daughter part-time?
It definitely poses some challenges. Running for political office, obviously, I do have to budget my time a little better as far as having the same priorities that her mother has. And so I've been divorced for several years, almost 9 years now. Mm-hmm. And I've had to learn from the single mothers as far as how to function as a single father. So that means I have to have babysitters just like single mothers do. That means I have to have school alternatives, transportation, and activities, and all of those things.
Excellent. Okay, so you feel us now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now, before you became a single father, were you actually sympathetic to the single mother's plight, or now you have more of a understanding of what they go through?
I probably wasn't fully sympathetic, but I've definitely grown to respect a single mother with 1, 2, even more than 3 kids. Mm-hmm. So definitely has taught me a lot. Definitely.
Excellent. And so, actually, what made you what made you want to run for political office?
Well, living in Clayton County, I definitely saw some changes that need to be made down there. And of course, having a 10-year-old daughter made me open up as far as the educational system that was down there. I wanted her to go to a great school. And of course, she went to a private school, a charter school that was down there. But I also had to look at the public school system that was down there. And I'm a person that believes in free choice as far as for parents to select the schools that they want their child to go to. And I definitely believe that not only my child, but those who don't have the income to send them to a private school should have that option also to send their child anywhere they want to and have quality education. So that was extremely important to me for families like myself.
Excellent, excellent. Now, everybody would like to hear that. That sounds good. But I guess I would ask you, how do you plan to assert your agenda in Clayton County?
Wow. Okay. How do I plan to assert
Yes,
myself?
break that down.
Well, I met with the superintendent down there and Dr. Heatley, and we brought him in from California, and he was definitely a great person to bring in there. So he's that I guess that Joe Clark of the day. So we brought him down to Clayton County to turn things around. But as a public official or a candidate, you know, my goal is to learn the issues that's dealing with our youth down there and the parents and what they're dealing with on a daily basis as far as the child's education. So I sat down with him, found out what the real issues are, and found out what is it that I can do to contribute to that and help add more solutions to the problems that we have as far as quality education, having education that just like our Caucasian counterparts and Asian counterparts and other nationalities have, so that our children can be competitive all across the board. So for me, it's really just bringing those resources to our superintendent and bring more funding, bring more quality schools, more benefits for teachers down there, and making it more competitive for teachers to want to come and have employment down in Clayton County.
Okay, well, in speaking to that gentleman, what was one of the core issues that you found that what Clayton County was dealing with?
Core issues. Definitely the funding part, but not just that. It was the officials working with one another to ensure that each school was having the quality education that they need to have. And also parent involvement. We find that because of the single family unit now, because married couples are breaking up and individual parents are now having to work 40-hour weeks, even more than that, they're not being able to involve themselves in school functions like our parents might have been able to do some years ago. So that's really the biggest problem there, is funding resources and also freeing up our parents to be able to be more involved with our children.
And that's really what breaking down the walls is all about. And when we come back, we're going to discuss more of that single parent thing, because you know I'm on that. You guys stay tuned and come right back to Breaking Down the Walls. We have more for you with Mr. Shawn James.
Breaking Down the Walls, brought to you by Medallion Studios Digital Video Services.
Welcome back to Breaking Down the Walls, and joining my special guest, Mr. Shawn James, who is also running for political office in Clayton County. We are continuing our segment on relationships. So I have to ask you this before I take my adieu. As far as relationships, and the reason we talked off camera about why Breaking Down the Walls was formed, and you being a single father now, divorced, I think you said approximately 9 years.
Correct.
What have you found in your attempting to date could be a problem that's keeping us from coming together and staying together? In your experience, what do you feel is one of the key factors in keeping us divided?
Wow, excellent question. I would say it's our foundation, as far as we've drifted apart a little bit as far as our beliefs, as far as how a relationship should come together. And I just mean those core beliefs of what I'm talking about: faith, talking about that sense of family, understanding our roles. These things, because we haven't had that mentoring, I believe, from our fathers because of these single family units, and even some of our mothers, because the mothers are becoming younger and younger. That means that knowledge is being stretched out from someone who was maybe in their 40s that's reaching out to their 30s, and now the 20-year-olds that are becoming moms at early ages aren't being able to share that knowledge with their youngsters.
Right.
And so from there, I believe our values and our foundation isn't the same as it used to be. So I believe that when we see young ladies that move in a young man in their apartment, I believe sometimes that's skewed a little bit, instead of maybe that man going out and setting his own foundation and then having that young lady courting her, dating her, getting to know her, and then getting married in the proper fashion and then moving her into his home. And so because these roles are turned around and we don't have a full understanding, I think that's really changing our society.
It
And
really
even the institution of marriage doesn't have the same priority or understanding like our parents or our grandparents had.
It's time for us to come together and stay together, but we have to be equipped with the tools to be able to do so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. And when we come back, we're going to have our special segment on the political topic with Mr. Floyd Potts. You don't want to miss this, trust me. Y'all come back to Breaking Down the Walls. See you next time.